start with chapter number 30, that is Gandhian phase. In this chapter, I will tell you about the Gandhian phase from 1919 to 1947. So, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, he was popularly known as Mahatma Gandhi. Where it was born at Porbandar in Gujarat in 1869. His father name was Karamchand Gandhi. और जो उनकी mother थी वो कौन थी? पुतली बाई, right? So he was married. He was married at the young age at Kasturba Gandhi, and he went to England. वो England चले जाते हैं to study law, and there he spent 22 years in South Africa. So afterward, as a lawyer and activist, he worked there, and India was suffering from lots of humiliation and discrimination at the hands of whites of South Africa. Gandhiji himself was humiliated on a few occasions. Once he was thrown out of first class compartment. क्या हुआ था? वो ट्रेन में एक बार जा रहे थे and he was thrown out from the first class compartment despite having a valid ticket because he was Indian. So he launched a long drawn satyagraha movement in South Africa, and he fetched many concessions to the Indian living there. Gandhiji returned to Bharat in 1950 and after a couple of years became the most important leader of the national movement led by Indian National Congress. He wanted every Indian to unite, putting aside religion, gender and caste. So then only country would achieve freedom. So since the majority of Indians were poor, he gave up all his comforts, luxury and started leading a simple life. He himself made cotton threads on chakra spinning and requested people to wear only khadi or some handspun. He was saddened by what shabby treatment meted out to low caste Indians by a higher caste Indians. So he set an example by living with those who were called untouchables. उन्हें क्या बोला जाता था? Untouchables. He gave them a new name, Harijans, which meant children of God. He believed that the best way to achieve freedom from the British rule was किसके through करें? Non-violence or non-cooperation. For his contribution to freedom movement, he is called the father of nation. What we call him? Father of nation. So Rabindranath Tagore was the first person to use Mahatma or the great soul of Gandhi. The Rowlatt Act. After the First World War, the British government, instead of rewarding Indians with concession and reforms, and introduced some laws to curb their freedom. So one such law was the Rowlatt Act, which was passed in 1990, and this law allowed the government to send anyone to jail. आप किसी को भी जेल भेज सकते हो without trial in court. So if anyone protested against the various acts of the government, very strict measures were to be taken. ठीक है? So what happened? जलियांवाला बाग मिसकैरेज हो जाता है, जिसमें जनरल डायर क्या करते हैं, जो एरिया था जहाँ पे मीटिंग मतलब जहाँ पे वो सर में जो प्रेसेशन हो रहा था उसको ब्लॉक करवाए थे और फायर करवा दिए, एंड मेनी पीपल डाइड इन दैट बिकॉज देयर वर ओनली वन एग्जिट. खाली एक ही एग्जिट था, and thousands of people were killed and seriously injured. Many of them were children and women. So masquerade took place on the occasion of Baisakhi on 30th April 1990 to protest against the cold-blooded masquerade of innocent people. Indian National Congress, at the initiative of Mahatma Gandhi, started non-cooperation in 1920. Non-cooperation movement क्या थी? Non-violent protest movement थी through satyagraha. Its ultimate aim was to achieve independence by the peaceful means. उसका बस एक ही वे था कि हम क्या करेंगे? इंडिपेंडेंस अचीव करना और नॉन वायलेंस तरीके से किसी भी तरीके की लड़ाई झगड़ा नहीं करना. Thousands joined this movement soon echoed throughout the country. Students turned the British run schools and colleges and lords, boycotted the courts, and people picketed shops selling British-made goods and asked people to buy Swadeshi or Indian-made goods. So picketing meant protesting outside the entrance of the factory or shop in order to stop work. Elections and government functions were boycotted. Titles and honors of the British government were written, and Rabindranath Tagore, what he did? He returned his knighthood title by the British government. The movement went as planned for 2 years, but it turned violent at the Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh in 1920. 22 policemen died in this movement, and disappointment of the violent incident, Gandhiji called off the movement. Gandhi क्या करा? Movement वापस. What happened? Some Indians, they got disappointed and the withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement. They started revolutionary activities against the British government, and they felt that non-violent movement would not get them freedom. कि अगर हम non-violent movement करेंगे तो हमें लगता नहीं है कि हमें freedom मिलेगा. So भगत सिंह, चंद्रशेखर आजाद, सुखदेव, राजगुरु, गुप्तेश्वर दत्त, जतिन दास, सूर्य सेन, बिनोय बादल, दिनेश. They were some of the revolutionary who fought against the government and lost their life. Right? They were, for their bravery, heroism, sacrifice, they are remembered even today. Then we have Simon Commission. So the British government constituted a Simon Commission in 1927. Sir John Simon headed the commission, and its objective, इसका objective क्या था कि ये review करेगा what was wrong with the law and other situation, right? So the commission came to Bharat in 1928, and Lala Lajpat Rai, the people protested, and Lala Lajpat Rai was grievously injured in the lathi charge at the protester, and few days later they succumbed to his injury. And Lala Lajpat Rai was popularly known as Punjab Kesari. Civil disobedience movement. Efforts of Simon Commission got aborted ultimately, and the government challenged Indian National Congress to form a constitution which could be accepted. So, committee headed by Motilal Nehru, for this purpose, a draft constitution was formed, but the government rejected it. Government ने क्या करा, इसको reject कर दिया. So the Congress then decided to get complete independence from the British. At this Lahore session, the Congress decided to celebrate Independence Day. And 26 January 1930 and raise its own flag. It's also decided to launch a new movement under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. This movement came to be known as Civil Disobedience Movement. Other prominent leaders of this movement include Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Sarojini Naidu. Then the movement started and began with the Dandi March in 1930. Government had a monopoly or complete control over the manufacture of salt. Indians were not permitted to collect sea. कि आप sea में से salt को collect नहीं कर सकते, right? Rather, they had to purchase it from the British at high prices. Gandhiji decided to defy his law. Along with 78 of his followers, what happened? He left Sabarmati at Ahmedabad, Dandi, जो कहाँ situated at a distance of over 300 kilometers. On reaching there, he picked up a handful of salt, breaking the salt law. This was in open defiance of the British law. Lakhs of people joined the movement. Peasants, landlords, students, professionals, women, and even children, they joined the movement. What they did, they defeat the law at different levels in different parts of the Bharat. And thousands of people were arrested as people were being. Then the movement continued till 1934, and in the meantime, Gandhiji was twice invited to attend round table conference. But Gandhiji attended only one round table conference, and conference which were born no fruits. Gandhiji and other leaders were not arrested. The British tried to tone down the nationalist fervor and introducing certain changes throughout the government of Bharat in 1930. But the Indians remained unsatisfied. What happened now? They did not want any changes but only freedom. So the Congress participated in the election which was held in 1936 to prove how unpopular the government was with India. Congress formed government in most of the provision, and World War II broke out in 1936. So the British wanted Bharat to help in the war efforts, and the British dragged Bharat into war without consulting Indians. The British to quit Bharat and appeal to the people, do or die. Indians should either win freedom or die trying to get it. So this movement started in 1942, and it was termed as Quit Indian Movement. That is, Quit Bharat Movement is also called. The Indian National Army, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, popular name Netaji, was one of the brilliant leader of the freedom movement. So he represented the younger generation of the Congress leader, and he had to go through the prestigious Indian Civil Service examination. But he did not join it because why? He was interested more in serving the motherland. So National Congress joined Kari, and twice he was elected successively as the President. Gandhiji opposition towards her candidature, and he later resigned, and government arrested him. Government ने क्या करा, इनको arrest कर लिया. So we can say by camouflaging himself, he escaped to Russia via Afghanistan. He went from Russia to Germany and met Hitler, who helped him to reach Japan. With the Japanese help, he organized International Army, Ajad his fought as Singapore, and he marched on towards the border of Bharat via Burma. This army defeated British army at several places in the east. Now freedom achieved. After the end of World War II, the British had no option but to give Bharat freedom. एक ही option था कि हम भारत को. The only option left was to give freedom to Bharat. Prime Minister Attlee started process of granting freedom to Bharat. A new viceroy, Lord Mountbatten, was sent to Bharat, and Bharat was divided into two parts, Bharat and Pakistan, and declared free. Pakistan को declare free करा 14th August 1947, और while Bharat on 15th August 1947. जवाहरलाल नेहरू बिकम द प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड अली जिन्ना मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना क्या बने, पहले गवर्नर बने जनरल पाकिस्तान के, एंड रिपब्लिक इन 95 डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद क्या बने, पहले प्रेसिडेंट बने. So you should keep in mind who was the first prime minister, first president and governor general. Now our chapter has been completed. Hope you understood. Now we will meet in next class. Thank you.